Let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and start taking calls because we've got calls coming in from outside of the country. We have Maureen in Ireland.
Yes, hi.
How are you?
Hi.
I'm okay, thank you. I'm calling from Belfast in Northern Ireland.
Hi, we're sorry to keep you on hold so long.
Don't worry about it, it's okay. I'm actually just calling to say that I've been watching your show for a while now, and that I've been really enjoying it, and it's actually really refreshing to actually see something American that's actually coming into Europe that actually shows Americans as critical thinkers and not just as evangelical, crazy.
Yeah, our reputation has been sort of tarnished in the last 8 years, hasn't it? In
mainly because of Bush.
Yeah. Well, we definitely appreciate the call. We love hearing that. Whoever thought? I mean, when the show started, it was Austin only. We start putting up podcasts. So occasionally we get video up on the internet. I don't think anybody really anticipated this sort of response.
We didn't have so many international fans. So
the first time I ever saw you was on YouTube, and it was because of a caller who asked why you didn't get electrocuted in the shower.
Yes.
I think that was the most funniest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It was on my short list of funny things too.
Yeah, that's definitely that's a classic AE moment.
He's a caller who called in a number of times, and I miss him. I guess we probably ran him off a little bit.
Did you shut him down?
Yeah.
So how's everything in Belfast? Tell us.
Rainy, rainy and cold, and generally very rainy.
Yeah. Well, so winter's come early for you. Or I guess no. This is probably about how it is over there at this time of year, right?
Well, I'm in my last year of university. I'm looking forward to actually moving to Norway with my husband.
Wow. And that is a good secular country right there.
Yeah.
Norway.
So. Yeah, they are very. I'm quite happy about that. They are very liberal, and I believe I was watching a documentary about them not so long ago, and they're conservative. What would be what you would call the American conservative, the American liberal would actually be the Norwegian conservative.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so the life sentence over there is, I believe, 15 years, and it's not actually all that long.
Yeah. They are something like a 95% literacy rate in the country, and
they all learn to speak English at the age of 10 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We talked about this a number of times. I'm very happy to be living in the United States. I'm proud of my country. I'm proud to have served in the military.
Mm-hmm.
But I am no fan of blind patriotism, regardless of where you live, and these absurd notions that we are the best and we're the best in every category. I'm sorry, if you actually look at the data, it may be the case that there's potential to be the best.
Yeah.
But in a number of categories, there is no such thing as the best in several different categories. In the United States, we've had problems specifically in the education area, and there are plenty of countries that score better both in education and health benefits and
sure.
all these different things that factor into kind of determining the health of a particular society. And I'll say it all. I'm the only reason, not the only reason. My reason for not just sitting around and whining and complaining about the things that have gone wrong in the country is because I'm appreciative of things that have gone very right in our country, and the way things perhaps almost used to be and definitely could be. But I'm all for let's fix our country, let's fix other countries, let's get the whole world up to a proper 21st century secular, rational society that still allows people to have their own religious views, spiritual views, whatever. I mean, you're always permitted to follow the dictates of your conscience. It's just that we have to recognize that we have to share this planet, and that means some compromises, and that means
they are actually very good about the whole, sharing the planet. In Norway, they are very, conscious about the planet and saving the planet. They recycle beyond belief, and I'm stunned with how well they actually treat and respect generally
I hope to be able to visit
Norway someday. I really do. Because it's like one of the areas in Europe that I've never been, the Scandinavian area.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just just to see the country up there would be something.
And the fjords designed by Slarty Bartfast.
That's right. You see,
Yeah.
That's what you said about patriotism. What has saddened me about what's happened is, and again, I love being American too, but the way in which
I'm not ashamed of being an American at all. I just unfortunately have to confront a lot of people wondering whether or not I'm one of those crazy ones that constantly. I get a lot of people sometimes saying, "How did you turn out so normal?" And I'm just like,
this gets to my point, Maureen, is that what has happened in this country is that ideological zealotry has taken such a hold of such a significant part of the population that, the fact that people from outside America can actually look you in the eye and say with a straight face, "Wow, you're from America and you're normal?"
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't think the fact that can even happen is an indication of how far we have slid, and in the way in which ideological zealotry, religious and political, has really taken root here, and that's the kind of thing we need to deal with. It's not the whole thing of course, freedom of conscience and following your beliefs and that sort of thing. I think it also has something to do with the
fact that I was also slightly raised Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But
although while people tend to poke fun at Jehovah's Witnesses, and you were kind of already partially there because you didn't accept the Trinity to begin with. So it's.
I just never believed in it. At 6 years old, I kind of figured it was all bunk. Just because I asked my grandmother, who was really big into it, and I was kind of like, who created God? It was that simple, steps of, nah, this can't be happening. This isn't right. This can't be right either.
Yeah. It's just.
And I often have wished that it would have been that simple for me. Unfortunately, it wasn't. So.
And for lots of people, Well, my view is, a patriot. In my view, a patriot is somebody who is willing to stand up when something is going tragically wrong with your country, and say, "We got problems and we have to fix them." And part of this, the ideological zealotry that I was talking about is this whole idea of that roughly half the country has embraced now of America right or wrong. And if you say one word in criticism, you're somehow anti-American or you're in league with terrorists or whatever, and it's just stupid. Who was it Voltaire who said that patriotism is this crazy idea that your country is the best in the world because it's the one you were born in?
Yeah,
and I think too many people take patriotism as just this form of, an extension of their egotism. And
I don't know, to be quite honest. I mean, living outside of America, you tend to realize some of the things that benefits that you don't receive from the government over in America, and it really saddens my heart at times, thinking how hard my friends actually have it sometimes. And I tell them about what I experience over here in Europe, and then try and tell them about, the benefits of, social medical care, and, how I don't have to worry about such a large, I think it's about $14,000 worth of 3 years of studying over here in the United Kingdom, where my friends are paying $50,000 for all of their education, and they just, I believe that my friend Joe, who's in the military, it's even worse for him because he is so, I can only say it's like he has been in a way brainwashed to believe that his hard work is, the holiest thing.
Right.
And that, the less you work, the less you're entitled. It's really, he works 70 hours a week, and I actually worked less than him and was earning in and around the same amount.
Yeah.
And a lot less than him, actually. It was about 16 hours a week.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of, I think, that's a very prevalent attitude over here, which is, I think it's tied into that Judeo-Christian work ethic, where, just slave away for, all your life, and this somehow entitles you to things. And then when you don't get those things, you're like, but wait, and it's.
Yeah, for all of you who enjoy an 8-hour workday, I think it's worth noting that you have the great agnostic in part to thank for that. Colonel Robert Ingersoll, among his many essays and lectures in opposition to religion and Christianity in particular, had a very famous essay called 8 Hours Must Come, where he was advocating the reduction of the normal workday to 8 hours to make things far more civil and reasonable and beneficial to everybody. Because if you're working 12 to 16-hour days, what time do you have to spend developing family bonds, raising your children, taking care of your home? If you become this, I'm going to work all day, come home, grab a bite to eat, go to sleep so I can go work all day, come home, go to
and what are you working for?
Yes.
What are you working to build?
It's actually really discouraged over here to have more than one job. If you actually have more than one job, you will be taxed half for the other job. It's more so that you're encouraged to get one job that will pay you well.
Yeah. And there probably are some jobs that will do that. And the problem with a lot of the job market in America is, you get nickeled and dimed to death. I mean, it's sort of, if you can't land some sort of white collar career that with a handsome salary, there are a lot of people out there who are trying to scrape by on $9-10 an hour, and it just doesn't work. With what things cost over here.
Well, Maureen, we really appreciate you calling in.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.
You too.
Bye-bye.